Hey everyone, and welcome back to another chapter of From Ashes to a New Beginning. Written by me, Stacey Holt. Artwork was provided by my good friend Pastelkittygoreart, otherwise known as Maddie Kitty 1997 on DeviantArt. As for my voice actors, Diz will be voicing Adrien and Cat Noir. I'll be voicing Marinette, Ladybug, and the narrator as usual. TitaniumKitten will be voicing Plag and Luka, and Etsuko will be voicing Tikki. I just wanted to let you know also why I have not been uploading so recently. I know I skipped like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm not completely sure. Just some updates. I will be having a new Cat Noir and Adrien voice actor, so please be supportive of my choice in that matter. I will not go into details why he was replaced, but know that I did make a decision for the channel for good reason. The productions for The Fall of Citrine, which is the book that I wrote, should be coming out in a week or 2. That is also why I haven't been uploading, because I've been getting that ready for you guys, because I'm super excited to be releasing that really soon, and I'm really hoping you guys will like it. I'll also still be releasing From Ashes to a New Beginning with the productions of my book, so don't worry about From Ashes. It will still be coming out with the productions of the book. If you'd like to support me in any way, you can like, subscribe, and comment. And if you'd like to support my voice actors, all their links are provided below. Without further ado, Chapter 38, Deceiver.
Marinette transformed in front of Hawkmoth, Mayura, and me.
Adrien said, replaying what happened over in his mind.
Well, what happened to her? Is she okay?
Luka asked, turning to him.
She's fine. If you want to call it that.
Adrien sighed, standing up, looking away from Luka.
What do you mean?
He asked. He couldn't tell him that she lost all of her memories. Luka was still... He didn't want Luka to have a reason to steal her away from him. Without all of the memories of Adrien, what was stopping Marinette from being with him again?
She lost her memories of being Ladybug. She forgot Cat Noir.
He explained, turning to look at Luka with a saddened expression. He hoped that was enough for him. He hoped he didn't ask anything else. He didn't like lying, but for Marinette, his princess, he would do it. He might want to explain a few things though, at least why Marinette lost her memories.
Hawkmoth was threatening her family. She gave up being the guardian, which is why she lost her memories.
Adrien sighed.
How much does she remember?
Luka asked with a frown. Adrien frowned, knowing that Luka put Marinette above all else.
She remembers a lot from high school and basic things. I think it's mainly being Ladybug and Cat Noir that she forgot.
Adrien said.
You said she gave up being the guardian. Does that mean you're the new guardian?
Luka asked. What should he say? He was in too deep. He couldn't get out of this now. He was also a terrible liar.
Luka, please don't make me answer that question.
Adrien pleaded. Luka looked at him surprised. Luka wrapped his arm around his shoulder and smiled.
Calm down, Agrest. It's okay. I just want to be there for you. I wouldn't do anything to hurt Cat Noir and cause Paris to fall to the hands of Hawkmoth. They are our heroes. Well, I guess you're our hero.
Luka laughed.
Thanks.
Adrien smiled.
Okay, well... So... Can I come over to see Marinette?
Luka asked.
Huh? Why?
Adrien asked.
I want to make sure she remembers me.
Luka smiled.
I don't... We should let her rest.
Adrien said, unwrapping Luka's arm from his shoulder.
Adrien, come on. I'll be there sometime after work. I'll text you. It's pretty late though.
Luka said, waving him goodbye. Adrien watched as Luka walked away, his face trying to keep his composure. As Luka was no longer in sight, Adrien sat down on the park bench with an exhale of defeat. Plag floated out with Tikki, and they exchanged worried looks.
Come on, Adrien. You need your rest.
Tikki smiled.
Yeah, kid, come on. Marinette is asleep in your bed waiting for you. We'll figure this out tomorrow.
Plag said as he tried to comfort his friend the best he could. Adrien looked up at both the Kwamis and smiled. He reached out and hugged them both, then took a deep breath. He gave a piece of cheese to Plag and then transformed, rushing back to his bedroom. Marinette moved in the bedsheets and felt a crinkled object beside her. She struggled to open her eyes in the dim-lit room. She reached for her phone and turned on the flashlight. There was a note. She rubbed her eyes and looked at it. The note read,
Gone to talk to Luka. He said he really needed to talk to me. I'll be back soon. Adrien.
Marinette clenched the note in her hand as another memory flashed through her mind. It was her and Adrien arguing about him not leaving a note about him meeting Kagami. Though, it ended with them apologizing to one another and joking. Then, he left to go see Ladybug. He transformed into Cat Noir. Marinette's eyes widened and shot up from the bed, throwing the comforter away from her. She rushed over to where they were standing in her memory and watched it replay in her mind. She watched him leave out the window, and then it went blurry. Marinette threw her hands around her head, almost trying to squeeze the rest of her memories out. Marinette clenched the note and threw it on the ground in frustration. Marinette went and stood by the window, leaning on it just watching the moon as she thought about everything. Was she being told lies? Was everything this boy told her the entire truth? Why was she so quick to trust him? Everything he told her seemed so crazy. She moved in with him because her house caught fire? Why did her house catch on fire to begin with? Yeah, sometimes places have faulty wiring. But was that the cause? Or was there foul play? Could he have burned it down? Marinette's eyes widened as she saw a shadowy figure coming toward her. She thought for a second. If her memory was true, and if Adrien was Cat Noir, he would be coming back there, and she would catch him de-transforming. Marinette ran back over to the bed and put enough pillows to make it look like someone was sleeping, and rushed back into a back corner, making sure she was out of sight in the darkness. She kept still. She knew he was like a cat, but she didn't know what kind of powers he had. Her only plan was to stand out of his line of sight, to be completely still, just in case he saw her out of the corner of his eye. Just as she thought, the window creaked open about 2 minutes later, and she saw a shadow sneak into the room. She peeked around a corner and saw Cat Noir inside the room. She saw him look over at the bed to see if she was sleeping, and he took the bait. She watched him walk over to the couch and sit down with a slight huff, almost as if something worrisome had happened.
Plag. Claws in.
He whispered. A bright green light flashed, making Marinette close her eyes. She reopened them and saw Adrien where Cat Noir was originally sitting. Marinette stood there in silence. Why was he lying about who he was? What else was he lying about? Marinette rushed her hand to her mouth as tears started to form around her waterline. Adrien heard a sudden movement from the corner of the room and peered into the darkness. He stood up in a defensive manner and steadily walked over to the corner.
Who's there?
He said warily. As his eyes adjusted to the darkness once he was near the back of the room, he saw Marinette standing against the wall, her hand covering her mouth as tears were streaming down her face.
Marinette! Why aren't you in bed?
He asked, horrified. Why have you been lying to me? What else have you been lying to me about? Marinette screamed, backing away from him.
Nothing. I swear.
He said. I need to go, Marinette said, pushing past him and ran out of the room. Adrien watched as she ran out of the room. His mind was going blank. She saw him as Cat Noir. What is going to happen now? Will this overwhelm her memories? Will this break her? Or will she remember everything? Adrien ran toward the door and listened for her. Silence. Could she have left completely? This was bad. A past Miraculous holder that was regaining her memory slowly, only remembering bits and pieces, running around Paris with Hawkmoth and Mayura on the loose? No harm done. Ugh. Adrien ran back to his bedroom and shut the door behind him. He opened the window and transformed. He started running on the rooftops, desperately searching for her. His mind was running wild. Where would she go? Where would a girl with barely any memories go? Her house. Cat Noir dashed toward her old house that burned down and found her sitting on her knees crying into her hands outside of the pile of debris and ashes. Cat Noir frowned as he dropped beside her. She looked up at him, and her eyes widened to see the superhero once again.
Please don't run away,
he said with a frown. She nudged away from him, but turned back toward her home, feeling bitter about it burning down. He sat down beside her, laying his hand on her shoulder.
I'm sorry, Marinette. I truly am.
About lying to me? Or my house burning down? Marinette said, sniffling. Cat was quiet and glanced over at her, seeing her wipe her tears.
Both.
Marinette turned to him and saw that he looked saddened by her state. She saw he felt bad about lying to her.
I shouldn't have kept the truth from you. I should have told you everything. I am Adrien. I'm also Cat Noir. You are Ladybug. You're also a superhero. You lost your memories giving me the miracle box and making me the next guardian.
Cat explained. Whoa, wait. I'm who now? Ladybug? Guardian? Miracle box? Slow down, Marinette said frantically, a little overwhelmed.
This is why I didn't want to explain everything at once.
Cat explained. Okay, I'm sorry, Marinette sighed.
Will you come back home? It's really late. I doubt we're going to get much sleep tonight. You also have a guest coming to see you tomorrow.
Cat explained, standing up and stretching, trying to act like it wasn't bothering him. A guest? Who? She asked, looking up at him.
Your ex-boyfriend, Luka. He wants to see if you remember him. Come back with me, and I swear I won't lie or keep anything from you anymore.
Cat said, extending his hand for her to take. She took his hand with a frown and hoisted herself up. I remember you mentioning him, but I don't remember him, she confessed.
Well, in the morning, maybe you will remember him,
Cat said. Marinette nodded and turned back to her home and frowned. Cat, what caused my house to burn down? Marinette asked.
The firefighters said that there was faulty wiring. Why?
Cat asked, turning back to her. Oh, nothing, Marinette said, turning back to him. I'm ready to go back when you are.
Want to take the Superhero Express?
He smiled. Superhero Express? She questioned, wondering what he was up to. Cat smiled at her and held out his hand for her to take. Marinette turned to look at him as he smiled, and she hesitantly took his hand. As she took his hand, he hoisted her to her feet with ease. He then lifted her off of her feet into his arms bridal style and watched as her eyes widened in shock.
This is the Superhero Express.
He smirked, getting a better grip so she wouldn't fall. Marinette looked at him with a worried face and swallowed, holding on to him for stability.
Hold on tight, princess,
he said, jumping into the air. Marinette was about to make a snarky comment, but clenched onto him as she felt her and Cat Noir being hoisted through the air. She wanted to scream, but her voice wouldn't come out. She watched as the safe ground that was close to her feet soon descended beneath them as they rose into the air. Cat Noir glanced down to Marinette and saw her once shocked face starting to turn into enjoyment as they were running across the rooftops. Regardless if she forgot her past as Ladybug, there was no denying that she was. He could see Ladybug in everything she did now that he knew. He wished she would remember. Would giving her the Miraculous one more time be a bad decision? Cat Noir stopped jumping from roof to roof and watched Marinette's thrilled face turn to confusion. She looked up at him and felt herself getting dropped to her feet. What's the matter? She asked. Cat Noir reached behind his ears and took off his earrings. He then extended his hands to her with a longing and saddened look.
Here, milady. One more time. For old time's sake.
He said, seeing her eyes drift from his down to his hand that held the Ladybug Miraculous. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can go check out some of my other videos like Thunderstorms, which is Season 1, Downpour, which is Season 2 of Thunderstorms, The Butterfly That Brought Us Together, and so on. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!